I want to actually criticize Napoli for a little bit.
Okay.
And Carlo Ancelotti. And that's very interesting because no one ever does that. So what happened to Napoli is they got another 0-0 draw. For the life of me now, I cannot remember who it is that they beat. Torino, that was it. Yeah. Mazzarri, what a good.
When you think 0-0 draw, do you not just think Mazzarri
right
away?
Right,
it's just like,
think of Mazzarri.
Okay, yeah.
And it's interesting because obviously, like, you know, Napoli, when you think of quality football, when you think of the team that plays the best football, you sort of think of Napoli. Although now you might be thinking of Juventus under Sarri. But I'm not going to have a go because I think that once again we've seen the fact that they don't have guys that convert chances. 16 shots on goal, 16 shots, only 3 on target, which tells you a lot about the efficacy of that front line. And the fact that Llorente wasted 2 brilliant chances when he came on. Because again, he's not somebody, I think that he needs a little bit of time to build up momentum. But I'm starting to think of I love Carlo Ancelotti, and how many times have we discussed on this pod that he is probably the best coach that Italy have? But I wonder sometimes about his track records when it comes to winning the league, about a team that he is somebody who, if I have a team of champions, I am a Real Madrid, I am a Barcelona currently with Lionel Messi and everything that they have and a terrible Valverde. If I am Juventus, I feel like Ancelotti knows how to come in, change the team to play quality football and then produce these stylish wins that win you things in Europe. But sometimes I feel like when he is saddled with a team that perhaps doesn't have that winning mentality, where he is forced to do a little bit more of a motivational, you know, speeches or do what Antonio Conte is doing now at Inter, he doesn't necessarily know how to do that. And he doesn't know how to work with players who are wannabe champions as opposed to already champions. And I know that you disagree with me there, but there is this thing, I look at him and I'm thinking, I'm not sure he's necessarily the best coach for them if they're trying to win the league. I think he's the best coach for them if they're trying to win the Champions League.
I mean, this is so much baked into the Ancelotti story that he made a joke about it in the title of his book. His autobiography was Preferisco la Coppa. Now, Coppa is the word for cup, but it's also a type of meat, sort of a cured meat in Italy. So he was playing on the fact he likes food, but it is also an acknowledgement that he has got a lot of his best results in the cup. I think that clearly you can take a really sharp contrast right now because you've got, say, Conte at Inter as the other sort of main rival to Juventus, in theory at least, and then you look at Napoli and you think he's not intense in the same way Conte is. Conte is, as he calls himself, a hammer. We're constantly on this. We're constantly at 100%, and that's what we do. And Ancelotti is the opposite of that. And I don't think, in my opinion, that there is a better and worse here. Because actually, if you ever listen to Allegri talk, Allegri made out that he barely spent any time away from football thinking about football. He's like, I just have ideas that come to me, you know. Whereas Conte is, I sleep for 5 hours, I see my kids in the morning, and then I'm at work for the next 16 hours. Like that's how he talks about his day. Yeah. I don't think there's an inherent better or worse, but I think I agree that when you look at this Napoli team, because on the one hand, I think, first of all, away to Torino drawing 0-0 is not a disgrace. I think lots of good teams are going to have a hard time against Torino because Mazzarri is very good at ruining what you do.
It becomes a disgrace when it's 2 draws in a row.
Well, the result against Genk is much worse. The problem is that and it's also ridiculous. It's ridiculous to look at the league table in early October and say, oh, there's 6 points to Juventus and that's a problem. The problem is that Juventus have made that a problem because every season Juventus end up with a points tally that's so high you cannot afford to be behind them. So if Juventus are going to get upwards of 95 points, then 6 points behind already is a huge problem. Like you might be toast already.
Listen, I think I think that Conte is almost the actual antithesis of Ancelotti, because Conte I almost think prefers to play with players who are wannabe champions as opposed to already bona fide champions. Whereas I think that with Ancelotti, it's like I already want to work with players who are motivated enough to win these matches, and then I just teach them what to do from there on. So it's almost that. But for Napoli, who it is very important for them to win the league. You look at this and you're thinking, I'm not sure that rotation is working right now because Insigne is not making a difference, even after the humiliation of not being in the squad for Genk. I feel like Llorente is not the answer to all their problems. Right now, I mean, I don't think they convert chances, but right now they're not even creating those chances. So is there something to worry about, or is this just them getting, you know, I mean, I know, Gab, you have a lot of issues with the fact that you disagree with me greatly on this and you think they create lots of chances. But is this something to be worried about now?
No, it's not. I think, my risk sounds like a broken record. You worry when all you need to worry about is the ratio of chances created versus chances
Okay, what about the
conceded,
cases of, what about that?
which has been good. They have created
Against
They
Torino?
have created a lot of chances. Fewer against Torino, but they created plenty in the games before that. They're much tougher defensively than they were before. When people look at Ancelotti's track record, I mean, apart from the fact that obviously he won league titles in 3 different countries, they often forget that, for example, in the 2 years he was at Juve, he lost 1 title because of the downpour, and he lost another title because of them changing the rules halfway through the season to allow Nakata to play, and then Van der Sar chucking into his own net, and that over those 2 years he had gotten more points than anybody.
I do like how you discuss that, but then of course you all miss out the fact that he arrived at PSG when they were first and then they finished as runners-up.
That's fine, yeah. And
when
then
he was at Milan, how many
league
league titles did he win?
Okay, so fine. Right, in Milan,
He is a guy who
won
plays
one
quality.
He won 1 league title at Milan, and 2 of those years that he was at Milan, somebody was found guilty of cheating. Can we say that? Or certainly manipulating.
Sorry, were Milan absolved of all of this as well?
No. But the person who won the title. I mean, you had 2 seasons when the Serie A title should have been considered vacant. So it was vacant for 1, and the other one they handed to
So then
Inter.
it would be handed down to you, right?
Right.
But then,
it should be considered vacant is what
and then he had another year where they had a points penalty. So these are titles that he wasn't going to win.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.